Hi everyone, I'm JD from Willow Journals. Welcome back to my channel. I have a faith journal flip through for you guys in this video. I believe last week I actually shared how I put this journal together, choosing pages, arranging the pages, that kind of thing. This journal I made for one of my beautiful patrons, so I have already sent this out and she has received it, so putting the flip through up now. And I do have other faith journals like this in my Etsy if you're interested in owning one that is similar to this. And while I do a flip through of this, and I will loop this video because it's quite short, I'll share another message that I have written. As always, I hope my words can be a lamp in dark places, that these words can be encouraging, uplifting, and that they will bring something good into whoever's listening into your lives. So today the message is called Calling. And here we go. Whenever I feel restless, the best thing I can do is ask God, what is He calling me to do? It becomes very simple then. I often feel restless because I'm overwhelmed and I have a lot of energy, but I don't know where to direct it. I want to do something, but I don't know what to do. Sometimes I want to do everything and it paralyzes me, so I do nothing. And I think the restless feeling can be a reminder, like a tool, an invitation to focus on God and seek His will. And one of my favorite promises is that when we seek, we will find. But often we can get distracted. Well, I know I can get distracted focusing on my own self and my own restlessness. And eventually, though, I come back to this reminder, oh yeah, seek God, what is His will? And often when we think of calling, we think of, the grand plan, the purpose of our lives, the big dreams, the path that God has for us to glorify Him and make a difference in the world. But calling can be small too. Calling isn't just, the end goal, the destination for our lives. It's also the daily journey, the everyday tasks, and the seasons we're in. How does this look practically in my life? When I'm restless and overwhelmed and paralyzed, I ask God, when I remember to, what do you call me to do right now, today, or in this season? And when I clear out all the voices, my inner voices and outside voices of expectation, assumption, and judgment, I hear God speak. It could be as simple as just to go to sleep because I'm tired and I need to look after myself and I'm not going to get anywhere while I'm in this state of tiredness. It could be to simply wait and be patient because the timing isn't right to actually do anything, and so He calls me to be still and trust Him in that waiting. It could be to not be so harsh with myself and instead show myself compassion and embrace who I am and where I am at the time. It could be to pick up my pen and write, or read a certain book, or listen to a certain song, or talk to someone, or pray, or clean my room, or do washing, or create something. It could be to replace my negative thinking with God's truth. It could be to confess, or apologize, or ask for help. It could be to help someone else. It could be something bigger that takes more time than just a moment or a day, but more of a season or a lifetime. Sometimes when we hear what God calls us to do, we can doubt and wonder how we could possibly do that because it seems too big and unbelievable and unreachable. We might think, we don't have enough time or money or resources or knowledge and so on to be able to do what He calls us to do. And it might simply be that we're scared of what He calls us to do. But when He calls us, He equips us and He provides for us. So all we need to do is be obedient and do our part because we can trust that He will always do His part. And sometimes just getting through the day is all that He's calling us to do, whether it's a busy day or a hard day or a day with a challenging task, for example. A day in the life of a mother of small children, a day in the life of a carer of the elderly, a day in the life of a student with exams coming up, a day in the life of depression, deadlines, heartbreak, a day of hell. God equips and provides for us each day, and we don't need to do any more than what He calls us for that day. He provides rest and peace and strength and joy and support and love, and He will equip and provide all over again for tomorrow and the day after and the day after. But don't worry about tomorrow or the day after if all He's saying is get through this day. Just look at this day and what He calls you to do as he helps you to do it today. He'll be there again tomorrow, as he'll show up for you again tomorrow. And I'm reminded of the parable of the workers in the vineyard, and an insight that a theologian friend gave me. In this parable, a landowner went out in the morning and hired labourers to work for a day in his vineyard, and he said he would pay them a denarius, which was a day's wage back then in this time and culture. So the landowner went back out at various later times during the day and hired more people who were standing idle, and he said he would pay them whatever was right. And so by the end of the day, the people who worked for the shortest time were paid a denarius, and the people who worked longer saw this and they thought, oh, we're going to get paid more because we worked longer. But everyone, no matter how long they worked for, was paid the same amount. We might think that is a great injustice. That doesn't work with our way of thinking. But one takeaway and key point that I get from this is that each worker is given what they need, no matter how long they worked for. Anything lower than a denarius wasn't enough to live on for a day. So if you weren't paid a denarius, you couldn't afford to eat, basically. So in God's absolute graciousness, and in this metaphor, analogy, parable, the landowner is gracious and is providing for his workers, no matter how long they worked for, so they could just live and get through that day. So one message from this parable that describes the kingdom of God is that God provides daily for his people. We don't need any more than what we need to get through this day. God does what is right and good as he provides for this day. And then he provides for the next and the next. Of course he does. He calls us to work each day, whatever work looks like for us in whatever season we're in, even if work means to learn how to rest or how to just get through this one day. And that's enough. That's all you need. And he will provide all you need. And he provides for us as we do that work, the work of following his calling day by day. And whether it's big or small, God continually calls us and we can listen and follow him. So what is God calling you to do in this moment? When we hear what he says, it strips everything else away and you can just do that thing that he calls you to do in this moment. So whenever I get stuck, this is what I can always go back to, this question. What are you calling me to do right now? And I hope this question helps you as it helps me, and one that you can, put away in your toolkit, and that you can always turn to in those moments where you're maybe overwhelmed, restless, or paralyzed, or struggling, not knowing what to do. Just ask, what simple thing do you want me to do today in this moment? And may this encourage you. And if you have anything you want to share in the comments about what God is calling you to do in this moment, feel free to share that. And I trust it will speak to people, as when we share the things God is doing in our lives, it can be an encouragement to others always. So thank you so much for watching and being here, and I'll see you in the next video. Big thank you to my beautiful patrons who supported me in September. I could not do this without you, so thank you so much for allowing me to create and share videos for yet another month. If you'd like to become a patron in October, the link will be below in the description box. That's where you get access to behind the scenes looks, sneak peeks, first access to my journals. At the Ruby level, you get all printables from my Etsy shop. Emerald level, you get extra printables, and then there are some mail tiers as well. I'm also running my courses, my journaling courses again in October, so feel free to sign up for any of those. Just send me an email and check all the links in the description box below for ways to contact me and be part of the world of Willow Bound Journals.